Hello there, and welcome to today's lesson on primary and secondary research. Copy down the keywords that you can see there into your Google Doc, and we will get going. So we are going to be kicking things off today with primary sources. A primary source is a piece of evidence created by someone at the time of the event. So for example, if you are sending a text message to someone and you're at a football game saying, "Oh my God, Luton Town just scored an amazing goal," you are a primary source. Writing a letter, a diary, government records, autobiographies. These are all primary sources. These are pieces of evidence which have been created by someone. So for example, if I were to go upstairs and write in my diary, just made a fantastic lesson, my diary is the primary source because I'm the one who's written it straight away, and as soon as its words have hit the paper, it's a primary source. It's a piece of evidence that has been created by someone who is there. So when we're thinking about primary sources, we need to be thinking about reliability. So for example, if I were to write in my diary, "Oh my God, Luton Town scored an amazing goal. It was the best goal I've ever seen," and it was just a tap-in. As a primary source, as a person creating the primary source, I might be biased in thinking that it was an amazing goal, even though it was just a tap-in from 1 yard out. So when we're thinking about primary sources, you need to make sure you're looking at the primary source. Yes, it can be trustworthy, but you also need to be thinking about who has written it as well. And again, if we're thinking about a diary, again, that can have quite personal feelings and emotions in. Again, it might not be entirely reliable, but we'll have a bit more of a talk about that when we look at secondary. So what I want you to do, as you've done previously with your almosts and sums, complete the one that you're going for based on the learning outcome, give the video a pause, and then we'll get going. So if we're thinking about secondary sources, that's information created by someone who is not there or after an event has happened. So for example, a newspaper article, a write-up of a football game, a textbook, an encyclopedia, Wikipedia, atlases. They're pieces of information that have been created by someone else. So if my wife were to walk in the room, see what I was doing and walk back away again, and she said, "Oh my God, Mr. Rutherford-West is just talking to himself again at his computer," she's a secondary source because she wasn't present at the event. She wasn't there. She wasn't seeing exactly what was happening going through all the time. So when we're thinking about secondary sources, again, these can tend to be more unreliable. So for example, this afternoon there's a little football game between Liverpool and Man United. You'll be able to predict the differences of the match report based on the Liverpool website versus the Man United website, because they're going to have their own personal bias on there as well. And again, because the information is created by someone who wasn't present at an event or after the events happened, it might not be reliable, it might not be fully correct. So we need to make sure we're taking that into account when we're looking at secondary sources. If we've got 5 secondary sources all saying the sky is blue and one saying, actually, you know what, it's green, you need to think about the reliability of that 6th source. If you've got a range of secondary sources saying the same thing, it should be pretty reliable, the information that you're looking at. So here's task 2. And again, your almost and sums are there as well. And again, the second part of each question, I want you to be comparing the reliability of the primary sources compared to the secondary sources. So give the video a quick pause, and then we'll answer today's key question. So today's key question: when should I use primary and secondary research? When should I use primary and secondary sources? Complete the question in your Google Doc or either in your booklet, and I shall look forward to seeing you in another video. See you later.